Taste Man here. The first day of Bourbon Beyond 2025 is over, and I saw 13 bands. So I'm going to rank for you the 13 bands that I saw day one, Bourbon and Beyond, Thursday, 2025. The number 13th band, the Heavy Heavy. I had to go back and look at some of my pictures to make sure I actually saw this band when I was looking at all the artists that I saw, my schedule. I was like, I don't remember seeing them at all. I dialed up some of their music before I did this video, and they sound great listening to them on shuffle, but I completely retained nothing about their performance. They did have a guy, we took several pictures of maybe their bass guitarist, who reminded me of a young Jim James, and he had on like a Levon Helm Band shirt, but I have no retention, and I saw quite several songs. So they're number 13, the Heavy Heavy. Number 12, this was one of the artists I saw when I first got there, and I was disoriented because it's a much different setup than it was last year at Bourbon and Beyond, where they're centering it around the Expo Center and Kentucky Kingdom, is Ash. Sonically, it's not really my cup of tea anyway. She was positive, but like is on the main stage, the sun's beating down, I'm trying to get my bearings, and the VIP section is gargantuan on the first two stages. I get it. They're capitalists that put on these festivals, so they want to make money. But I couldn't get very close, and I was just trying to get oriented. So she was number 12. Number 11 was Jade Bird. She was also playing when I first got there and was quite disoriented. But she was better than Ash because her voice was very calming, very soothing, almost like a shoegaze voice. Number 10 was also on main stage, and this was as it was almost dark, so it wasn't as intolerable. Was Benson Boone. Not my cup of tea. He's one of the headliners. He's somehow on the billboard, and I guess the reason why he's a headliner is there was a lot of young kids there that were just ecstatic about his set. They were living their best life, and his music didn't appeal to me, so I was tired. So I was closing my eyes, kind of meditating, trying to take a power nap, but was really enjoying listening to all the kids' voices singing along gleefully to Benson Boone. I must have looked like I had too much of something because I had two different people ask me if I was okay, and one of them asked me if I needed water. I literally didn't have a drop of alcohol yesterday, and controlled substances are not anything that I ever do. So I was 200% sober, just kind of meditating. Meditation looks like, I guess you're in some sort of distress at a music festival. Very nice of them to check in on me, though. Number 9. This is a band that I'm a huge fan of. I love listening to this band. I've seen them twice before, both times at Bonnaroo, once in their early days and then during the Ophelia tour. And I really enjoyed their set at Bonnaroo during the Ophelia tour. Lumineers. Now, I'm crazy about their music. They're, I'd say top 50 band for me, and I listen to a lot of music. Maybe top 100, I don't know. I listen to a lot of bands. But, by the time they were on, I didn't want to haggle with the main stage. Just so many people, and I was thinking about my 1.5 mile walk, literally, back to my car and getting out in front of some of the traffic. And I was just showing my age. I was older. I listened to a couple of songs I left on their song Asshole, and just decided it was better to get out of there. So, Lumineers. Number 8, this is the only band that was playing yesterday that was on my non-negotiable, have to see list. But they started like 10 minutes late. So number 8, the 8th ranked band that I saw yesterday was TV on the Radio, another band that I really enjoy listening to them, through speakers. But I felt like you got a short set, and they didn't explain why they were late. And I get it, people run late and stuff, but give us an explanation. This is cutting into seeing other artists And they were pretty good, but once again, it's on main stage. The sun's beating down on you, and the VIP makes it so it's hard to get very close. So TV on the radio was number 8. Number 7, sonically, I didn't really care for the singer at all. Number 7 was the old 97s. And old's appropriate because I felt old, and these dudes have been together 30 plus years. They said same 4 guys in this band have been together the entire time. Didn't really care for the singer. He was very happy. He was energetic, but their lead guitar player, I loved it. I just loved his guitar. He had a great sound. It had a punk rock, rockabilly, what's that like, the surf, is it surf billy, guitar surf rock? I don't know. Not quite Beach Boys, but the more jazzed up stuff like I think Low Straight Jackets. But I really liked the lead guitarist. He carried this band, and he carried it to enough that they were in the 7th spot. Number 6, this singer I thought was phenomenal. It's not Shannon Hoon, who I hung out with a couple of times in New Orleans in my late teens, early 20s, late teens. Blind Melon. The band, they're like me. They're older, they're middle-aged, but they put on an electric performance. And an artist I saw later on, actually the artist I saw right after Blind Melon, lead singer, said that he saw him open for Neil Young in like 1992, and he said they sounded absolutely as electric as they did back then. That's when Shannon Hoon would have been singing with them. But their singer, I mean, he was charismatic, and he hit every note, which is hard to do in middle age. When you watch these older bands, a lot of times the albatross, what really brings down a set, is the singers just can't carry a tune, carry a note in a bucket anymore. Just like I can't carry articulation in a bucket. Anyway, number 5th ranked band that I saw yesterday. Were in the top 5 of the bands that I saw on Thursday, Bourbon Beyond 2025. Number 5 was Pat Benatar and her husband, whose name I cannot retain. Didn't know it before the festival, and I still don't know it, even though it's Pat Benatar plus. Her voice also was exceptional. She's even older than Blind Melon singer, and Pat Benatar, I mean, she hit every note, and it wasn't, that she was lip syncing. She was authentically hitting the notes. You could hear some fragility and some imperfections, but just due to it being authentic and her moving around, like you could tell that it was not canned singing. His guitar was the heaviest guitar of the day. Her husband, whose name I cannot retain. Super heavy guitar, very loud, and he can really shred live. I mean, they were a metal band. They were absolutely a metal band. Not when she was playing piano, the ballads and stuff, but they were absolutely a metal band. They said they've been married over 40 years, so cheers to that. All right, so we're going into the top 4. Number 4, the 4th best band that I saw yesterday. Didn't see a ton of their set, because I was over at another set, Collective Soul. I only saw a few songs, but I tell you what, those songs were really, really, really good. I don't sit around listening to a lot of Collective Soul. I mean, I know the songs that were on MTV. Lead singer kind of looked like Dee Snider and Maynard James Keenan if you mash them up. And actually, it was very interesting because with the drums and the instrumentation, several of their songs reminded me of Tool. And I've never sat around thinking, Collective Soul sounds like Tool, or Tool sounds like Collective Soul. My brain has just never even thought to go anywhere near making that connection, but live it did. So they've got like some prog rock vibes, and they were much heavier live. They were certainly 110% a metal band. I didn't go to Louder Than Life. I mean, I'm going to go Saturday next week. But they would have excelled at Louder Than Life. Collective Soul, don't sleep on them. Number 3, the 3rd best band that I saw on Thursday at Bourbon Beyond 2025. This guy graduated from Oldham County High School, but he's from South Georgia. Austin Snell. Had never listened to him until yesterday. I did listen to whatever song he talks about. His mom listened to Waylon, and his dad listened to rock and roll. And that song got my attention. But that's what I like about music festivals where I don't know most of the bands. I just go around and something new reels me in. And I think Blind Melon was who played on that stage directly before him. But by the time he played, I think most people were going to see maybe Cage the Elephant. But Austin Snell, I mean, it was like seeing a show at a honky tonk. Even though I was at a music festival with tens of thousands of people, there was maybe 100 people, maybe 200, 300 people there in this expansive space. And he delivered like there was 20 or 30,000. It was very authentic performance. They had a metal edge to them. Shout out to that magazine that I loved when I was a kid, the hair metal magazine, Metal Edge. I didn't expect to shout out that magazine today. But there was a real metallic vibe to them, like the three. I think he just had two guitarists and drums, so I guess the drums did the bass. But they absolutely played metal-fied country. It was still country, but it was on the metal end. And he covered a Jason Aldean song, and I don't sit around and listen to any Jason Aldean. I've actually felt like there's no way I could ever like Jason Aldean. He covered a Jason Aldean song, and it sounded great. I mean, it absolutely sounded metal. I mean, just with like a southern rock voice. It was really, really good. And I got to give props. Austin, I mean, he was dialed in. And I think he's got upward mobility written all over him. I don't sit around listening to a lot of pop country, but I think I think he might do big things if he's got the right management. Number two, this band I don't sit around and listen to a lot, and I did not expect them to perform this well. But sonically, they were just better than the other bands that have been before them that I saw yesterday, and that's Alabama Shakes. I mean, they're really powerful. I saw them at Bonnaroo. Maybe once, or maybe a second time. You know, may have seen just a couple of songs. And I remember Brittany's voice kind of like overpowered everything else and made the band seem really small. But that's been dialed back a bit. She had several backup singers. And I don't know if they've added more band members. But the band was as expansive as Brittany this time. And they held their own. It wasn't just a powerful, soulful gospel voice with this smaller band behind it. The band was actually able to match her energy, and there was like a psych vibe, a vibe that jam band fans could get behind for sure. It was dark, so that made it better because it's easier to look at, and you're not battling the sun and the sun fatigue. So Alabama Shakes absolutely impressed me. And the number one overall band that I saw yesterday at Bourbon and Beyond is a band whose name I probably still will get wrong if I don't read it. So I'm going to have to read it. It's not Bonnie Prince Billy, even though I'm sure he loves this band and probably was somewhere in the crowd. It's Bonnie Light Horseman. Didn't know anything about them going into this. I listened to, I made a playlist of the albums of all the artists, and I listened to it on shuffle driving up to Louisville yesterday for my homestead in Lexington. And I really liked what I heard of them, but I did not expect them to sound this good, this varied. I mean, they were super, super fantastic. I didn't realize until this morning I was texting. I texted a song to my brother-in-law, and he's a huge music fan, the biggest My Morning Jacket fan that I know. And he was digging into him a bit and told me that the male, I guess, co-front person of the band is the sole member of Fruit Bats. And I know that Jim James, or Yim Yames of My Morning Jacket, is a big Fruit Bats fan, and that he got super dialed into the song Wild Honey, and that's all he listened to for a period of time. He's even covered it, I think, on one of his Tribute to albums. But anyway, I'm taken away from Bonnie Light Horseman, and I had to peek over at my list to make sure that I didn't mess up that name, because that name is like hard for me to get a hold of. But Eric Johnson, I guess is his name. He's also collaborated with the Shins. And the female, I guess, co-front person, even though it's probably a front trio, but I'll get to that in a bit. They were great. Like, they balanced together, but there was phenomenal depth and variance between the two vocalists, and like, they were really good at playing super soft stuff. And Cage the Elephant was playing at the same time. At one point, Eric, Cage the Elephant was sounding like Louder Than Life coming from the main stage, and he just kind of smiled about that, and he didn't even address it, but he addressed it without addressing it. It wears me out when a softer band calls out a band that's bringing heavier energy, and he didn't do that. He was just I think he was probably thinking about the yin and yang effect, and that they were, on one part of the cymbal, and Cage the Elephant was on the other part of the cymbal. But they were really good with the serene songs, but they also had moments that they got sneaky heavy. The guitar player, they all played instrumentations, including banjos and whatnot. But the main guitarist, I hear that he's a producer and that he's been in a whole host of bands and even played with Bob Weir or Phil Lesh. But the guitar player, I mean, this guy was electric. And there were times where they got heavy, and it reminded me of like some of the material of Sleep or Ohm, some of that Pacific Northwest meditative, droney metal. And like, I could tell this guy could absolutely shred. It wouldn't surprise me if that dude with his receding afro and beard, if that guy was sneakily in the band None, None, who's out of Oregon. I don't know where this guy's from, but it would not surprise me if that dude is one of the members of the band None. Y'all listen to the band None? They did really good in my 400 albums tourney. I believe they made it to the Elite 8, maybe Final 4 of that tournament. But this guy, he got sneaky heavy, and he just gave you little samples. But you could tell. And like, we talk about bands being tight. Like, this band was not only tight musically, but they were tight as far as their spacing on the stage. They had a good-sized stage. It was a side stage, but it's still a giant stage. It's bigger than like a small club stage. And the Eric and the lady Anais, maybe, I don't know. I'm not good with names. And the guitar guy, they were real close. I mean, they were within probably 2 feet from each other up at the front. And then the bassist was a little bit behind them, maybe about 2-3 feet behind them, probably about 3 feet behind them. And the drummer was within 3 or 4 feet of everybody in the front. So they literally physically were tight, and they had monitors and amps to create this tight circle, which I really enjoyed. Now, there's a couple of times when it got heavier that the guitar player did wander around. He went back to get some feedback off some of the amps and whatnot, but Bonnie Light Horseman, they were a revelation. Now, I was listening to them today, and I didn't get quite the same energy. A lot of bands are like that live. They're different. But I'm going to absolutely dig into the catalog of Bonnie Light Horseman. Did you go to Bourbon and Beyond yesterday, Thursday, 2025? If so, drop in the comments bands that impressed you, and maybe a band or two that underwhelmed you. Kind of like TV on the radio, vastly underwhelmed me. Did you see Benson Boone and have a similar experience with some just kids that were living their best lives? And that was very endearing. I'm glad he was on the festival lineup if it's exposing, introducing all these kids to music festivals and a wide range of bands, because that's what life's about. It's about interconnecting with each other, and it was a day of interconnection and unity. So looking forward to today, not looking forward to the sun, but I'll navigate that. That's part of life. Not looking forward to the parking shenanigans and the long walks. I do not like the setup anywhere near as much as I did last year's setup, just for where I park and everything. But you know what? I can adapt. I can cope with it. I'm a distance runner. I can deal with a little bit of discomfort. So let me know. Let me know what you think of my rankings. And if you went, let me know who you enjoyed. If you didn't go, let me know how you think you would have ranked some of these bands. Who would have been top out of these bands for you? Let me know. I love it when y'all reach out in the comments. Appreciate you watching, but it's extra special if you communicate with me. Cheers.